Welcome to the Prophecy Club. Our topic today is 15 U.S. cities have been targeted, and I'm going to say I think it's probably Suitcase Nukes. And Lord, help me say the right words. Don't let me say the wrong words. Help me to bring truth to your people today. You know, we've been talking about this since 1998. And now, apparently, it's about to arrive. So let me show you what I'm talking about. First of all, a brief reminder. You recall, Leslie was shown January 22 of 2006. She heard Omer ushers in Palestinian state. Now, I want to say, I don't know. We shouldn't see how it's spelled. And there's an Israeli guy, and you pronounce his name O-L. Well, you spell it O-L-M-E-R-T, but it's pronounced Omer. So we don't know for certain what that Omer ushers in Palestinian state is. We don't know how to spell Omer. But the second thing is catastrophe hits America. Now, why is that important? One more refresher before I get into the program. 2005, former Congressman Kurt Weldon, vice chairman of the House Armed Services Committee then, uncovered a plot to set explosions in 10 cities. So he saw 10 cities. We could not get the authorities to act. Why? Because I think they are part of it. In other words, yes, I think there are organizations, there are people inside our government, inside the alphabetical agencies that are actually part of bringing down America. Why would they want to bring down America? Because they want to bring in their man, the Antichrist, and they know that America has to go down in order to get the Antichrist to rise. When he could not get the authorities to act, he published the information in a book entitled Countdown to Terror. I have it right behind me in the bookshelf. The 10 cities he found out were Valdez, Alaska, Los Angeles, Las Vegas, Boston, New York. I want you to remember these cities because you're about to see them in another list. New York, Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, Chicago, Miami, Houston. By the way, if you would like to be a part of the solution, not a part of the problem, then if you'll go to prophecyclub.com, slide to the bottom, you can join what we call Fast Gap. And this is fasting and praying for our nation. We fast from Tuesday midnight to Wednesday afternoon at 4 p.m. every week. And each Tuesday evening, I send you an email with all the errors in it and everything, directly from me to you, saying this is what we're all praying. And this is the prayer we're all fasting and praying this week. By the way, if you'd also like to help Prophecy Club, you would also join Fast Track. Same place. Fast Track prays for Prophecy Club and the souls. Fast Gap prays for our nation. prophecyclub.com. Anyway, in 1998, we had this guy in. He made a DVD called Russian Defector Warns America. He was the highest-ranking Russian military officer to ever defect from Russia, and he made a Prophecy Club DVD called Russian Defector Warns America, which, by the way, you can watch instantly at watchprophecyclub.com. In this video, he stated that he was actually part of a team that was sent from Russia to find places to hide the 50 lost in Russia suitcase nuclear bombs that they were planning on smuggling into America. And other sources say there's 35 of these suitcase nukes that have been smuggled into America. Now, what's the difference between a suitcase nuke and what Hiroshima and Nagasaki? Well, suitcase nukes are about 1 kiloton. The big one that hit in Japan was 4 kiloton. What does it do? Well, it turns about a 10-city radius area into 10,000 degrees, and it burns everything, steel, concrete, everything, for about 10 city blocks. But it also puts a mushroom of nuclear fallout, ash, radiation up into the air, and it's basically a city killer. It doesn't kill everybody in the city, but the city's dead because everybody leaves it because of radioactivity. Also, from that point on, no one, of course, is going to buy any merchandise coming out of that area for fear it's going to be radioactive. If you have a job there, your job is gone. You have to move. You want to keep your job. It devastates. Now, here's the new information. This morning, on HalTurnerRadioShow.com. Look at the date. This is November the 14th. Look at the word, catastrophe. I didn't write this. Hal Turner did. Operation Catastrophe. 15 U.S. city attack to be blamed on Hamas. Today I received information claiming Operation Catastrophe, there's that word again, is a plan for a 15 U.S. city attack, maybe a false flag, by Hamas to trigger a controlled economic collapse, complete lengthy internet outage, and war. 15 plus cities will be allegedly targeted. Airports, subway stations, banks will all allegedly be hit. One unverified source claims the following cities are allegedly among the targets, but this list is not verified. Yeah, well, we can verify the list because we got it in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses. We've been talking about this since 1998. The cities were Washington, D.C., San Francisco, Santa Clara, Los Angeles, San Diego, Arlington, Alexandria, Dallas, all major Florida cities, Boston, Raleigh, Philadelphia, Detroit, Denver, Chicago, Kansas City, Oklahoma City, Seattle, Tucson, and Phoenix. And there's more. All these cities are now under heavy FBI surveillance right now. Yeah, right. FBI surveillance because it's trying to stop it or trying to see that it doesn't get stopped. My guess is the latter. Another source provided a different list, also unverified, for much smaller cities due to less police protection response, all of which seem utterly ridiculous to me. Well, they don't seem utterly ridiculous to us. We've been watching for this. The other cities were Trenton, Peoria, Tuscaloosa, Flint, Lincoln, Ogden, Hershey, Silver City, I don't know where it is, Alamogordo, BC, Nashua, Duluth, Pocatello, Bozeman, and Tupelo. There's more. Another source of this information also says we're on a ticking time bomb. Assets are now in place and will be activated. Assets? What assets? We know Suitcase Nukes. Again, we've known this for, well, I guess this would be 25 years? 25 years ago. We've got 34 different confirmed sources saying these are coming. Can I get anybody to listen? No. Matter of fact, right now, I haven't looked today to see if we've actually had checks bouncing, but it may be happening. That's how tight we are. So if God has blessed you and you can help us, we would really appreciate it right now. Another source of this information says we're on a ticking time bomb. Assets are in place. In other words, the suitcase nukes have already been placed all over and will be activated soon. The CIA is allegedly heavily involved. Well, isn't that a surprise? My guess is they're not heavily involved. They are directly involved. Now, can I prove that? No, I can't. Can't prove the FBI is involved. Can't prove it. And if I could, I probably wouldn't be breathing right now. CIA officer James Robert Isham is allegedly the current chief of operations on the project. What? Did you catch that? I'll read it again. CIA officer James Robert Isham is allegedly the current chief of operations on the project Catastrophe. Now, does that mean he's trying to stop it? I don't think so. I think he is, if he's in it, he's probably at least a middleman at the very least, but this says he's allegedly the top guy. They call it Operation Catastrophe, not just an accident. It's also not just an accident. Let me show you. The very word, catastrophe, is in the prophecy given to Leslie in 2006. Catastrophe hits America. And what do they call this? Operation Catastrophe. Okay. Accident? Or maybe confirmation she's hearing from God. Let's go on. CIA officer James Robert Isham is allegedly the current chief of operations on the project Catastrophe. Previous known stations. Okay, so this is giving the guy's background. Does this sound like a good guy or a bad guy? Previous known stations: Kyiv, Ukraine. Head of Internal Management and Foreign Affairs, corporate liaison of Macpron, a cover shell company used for Ukrainian intelligence officers. Indirectly, what he's saying is, this guy's dirty. Now, do I know he's dirty? No, I do not. Can I say he's dirty? No, I cannot. I don't know. And again, if I did know, I'd probably be dead. Another CIA officer, Aaron Nigel Montoya, is also allegedly involved. Current COS, I don't even know what COS is, okay? Gaza City, Palestine. Previous stations, Kabul, Afghanistan, and Baghdad, Iraq. Kind of what he's trying to hint at is this guy, his hands are dirty. His hands are in on it. Now, he didn't say that. I'm not saying that. I don't know that. But I am convinced with 34 prophecies, dreams, visions, and angel visits, they're suitcase nukes. And I'm going to show you some reasons I say that. Now, before I get going any further, we've talked about this a lot. If you want your car to start, if you want the electronics in your house not to be fried, when these suitcase nukes go off, you best have one of these installed. And you get it at empshield.com. And if you use the promo code PROPHECY, you get a $50 discount. I have one on both of our cars. I have one on my house. And the plan is that these suitcase nukes could go off. Nobody else's car will not just start. If they have one of those electronic key fobs, it won't even open. Okay, so if you want your car to start, you want your car to open, you best get on over to EMP Shield and get you one of these. Get them installed, one in each one of the vehicles, one in your house is my suggestion. Also, when these hit, America will never be the same. We will never, ever recover. There's going to be food shortages. What do we have? 12 different prophecies saying food shortages are coming. I recommend you go to Joseph's Kitchen. What you want to do there, get yourself a machine package. That's all of the gizmos to grind the wheat berries, put them into a bread machine, push about 2 hours, 20 minutes later, along with 6 other ingredients, and you have a loaf of bread. Then you decide after you get the machine package whether you want food for one person a year, 2 people, 4 people, or 6 people for a year. They're ready to ship it out. They're not even a delay. This is what fed the world for 7 years. Joseph and the Pharaoh, the world lived off of wheat for 7 years. I believe it's God's famine food, and I believe there's a famine coming, and I believe the best thing to do is get you some Joseph's Kitchen wheat. josephskitchen.com. Next thing is a picture of some bread I made. As a matter of fact, now I'm fasting today because this is Wednesday, but typically my breakfast is a slice of bread for breakfast and one for lunch. Matter of fact, I just went to the doctor just yesterday. I could even show you the blood report. Low cholesterol, blood pressure gone down. I think that's because of bread. I also recommend you go to cornerstoneassetmetals.com. You need to make sure you have some gold and silver. Look at. If you got a 501, 401k, sort of say 501c3. If you got a 401k, if you got some kind of retirement out there and it's in paper, Lindsey Williams says it's worth the paper it's written on. It's going to go worthless. If you've got a bunch of mattress money, you better get the mattress money into, in my opinion, gold and silver. Call these guys. They can just call them. Look, you don't have to get anything. Call and talk. Say, okay, here's my situation. I got this much money in the bank, and I have to tell you, if you got money in the bank, you got a savings account, the word on the street is, what's going to happen is, let's say you have $1,000 in the account, or let's say you have $100,000 in your account. When they go to this new standard, they take according to Maurice Sklar and Dana Coverstone, it takes a 30% haircut. In other words, your $100,000, you wake up the next morning, now you have $700,000. Whereas if you had it in gold and silver, Shane Warren said that he heard the audible voice of God saying that silver is going to skyrocket far more than gold. Now, I'm going to show you in just a minute a timeline why I think it's real soon. CornerstoneAssetMetals.com, Joseph'sKitchen.com, EMPShield.com, promo code PROPHECY. Now I'm going to show you what I think is a good bet for the timing. So this is back in 2020, Dana Coverstone. I saw a calendar. It turned to the month of November. Now, we're in November as I'm recording this. Is November the 15th. I don't think it's happening this November. I think it's happening next November. And if you follow Prophecy Club, we've already given you a lot of good reasons why to think it probably is next November. Did I say it's next November? No, I didn't. I'm just saying next November is a very good time to look for. Okay, let's go on. I saw a calendar. It turned to the month of November and had shadows flickering all over it. What are the shadows? I think it's suitcase nukes going off. I first saw a light in the sky, a very large, bright light, then darkness. Now, shortly after this, we had Dana Coverstone come and speak to us on 2 different occasions. He'd been in my home, him and I are good friends, and I asked him, did he know about the suitcase nukes? What suitcase nukes? No, he never heard of them, but yet he's describing them perfectly. A very large bright light, then darkness. What's the bright light? A suitcase nuke going off. Then what's the darkness? Because it sends out an EMP pulse, and it fries every computer chip, and it kills them. It fries them. They're dead. They're not coming back to life. You got a car that gets hit with EMP, and unless you replace every computer chip in that car, which is nigh impossible, it's never going to start again. It's a horse buggy. Tie some horses to the front of it and pull it. It's never going to start again. Very large bright light, then darkness. I began to make out through the dawn's haze and fog that many Americans were in emergency shelters. Why? Because suitcase nukes went off in potentially 35 different cities, or 35 different suitcase nukes in maybe 15 cities. There seemed to be snow on the ground, and it was this dirty gray, almost like ash. Guys, that's fallout. That is fallout. That is a perfect description from a pastor that did not know there are suitcase nukes in America. What is it going to take for people to listen? What is it going to take for you to send this out to your friends? Click like, share, subscribe, send it to your friends. Say, look, it may not happen, but this is credible information. You better listen. There were people huddled together and shivering. Why? Because it's November. Why? Because it's cold. Shivering, individuals lying on cots, suitcases all over the place, and desperate looks on the faces of most everyone. There were encouragers, that's us, in the crowds, all wearing crosses, and they stood out emotionally from everyone else because, well, because they had hope. Why? Because they knew this was coming. Why? Because they got prepared as they could get. Why? Because they're not trying to just live themselves. They're soul winners. They want to win souls. They had smiles on their faces. They were checking on people, trying to show patience and kindness, but they were at times met with anger and told to go away. But the encouragers just kept doing what they were doing despite the manifested upset of several of the shelters. Some businesses were shuttered in the bigger cities. What does it take? I've been giving this message since 1998, 25 years. And we may have checks bouncing today. Now, I think that's saying that America ain't listening. America don't want to hear this. It's called cognitive dissonance. I want to continue to stay willingly ignorant with my head in the sand. Wake me up when it hits. Well, the problem is, because they had their head in the sand, it's going to hit. Let's go on. I saw gas stations that looked as if they'd just been walked away from. Why? Because all the electricity went off, and all of the cars in the area all got fried. They won't even start. Who needs gasoline? So they just walked away from them. I saw headlines that read shock and awe in the U.S., as well as one that read UN steps in to help the host nation. America is in deep, deep trouble. There was a large amount of quiet over the country. Why? Because there's no electricity. There's nothing. There's quiet because you take away electricity, you take away water, You take away everything, and everything in America just stops. We go back 100 years in time, and now there are a bunch of babies that don't know how to hunt and fish. They don't know how to skin a deer or how to process it or how to preserve meat. We don't know how to smoke meat anymore. We don't know how to serve. We need someone from 100 years ago to come forward to teach us how to live without electricity, without refrigerators. There's a large amount of quiet over the country, almost as have not awakened fully from a bad dream. In other words, that's people slowly waking up. The nation was fitful and suspicious and leery of what was coming next, very hesitant. Why? Because they didn't want to know this is coming, and they don't want to know what's next coming. The white figure, that would be the angel that comes to him, the white figure appeared and said, "Remain braced as this calm comes before a gathering storm." That means a whole lot worse things than suitcase nukes are about to hit this nation. This is only the beginning. This is not the end. Remain braced as this calm comes before a gathering storm that recovery will have a hard time finding. Then he repeats himself. Remain braced as this calm comes before a gathering storm that recovery will have a hard time finding. Why did he repeat himself? Why? Because he's saying in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, let a thing be established. He's saying this thing is coming. Now let's go to another one. This is 2020, Dana Coverstone again. I saw long food lines. Why food lines? Well, I tell you why. Because there ain't no food. Because people didn't prepare. I saw long food lines. I saw people waiting in what seemed like hours, standing in line, not in cars throughout the nation. Why weren't they in cars? Because their cars won't start. Their cars won't open. Everybody's afoot. Nobody has clean water. They don't have food. And America is desperate. The nation that said, I said, a queen and am no widow, and she'll see no sorrow, is now seeing sorrow. For she saith in her heart, I said, a queen shall see no sorrow, therefore shall her plagues come in one day. Death, mourning, and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord God who judgeth her, Revelation 18. I saw ships in ports on both the east and west coast. They were just sitting idle. There was nothing moving at sea, nothing. Why? Because nothing was moving in America. I saw a headline that said, the Baltic Dry Index is dead. In other words, no ships are moving. Why? Because no one's buying anything. They can't buy anything because they've been putting everything on credit. They said that nothing was moving in trade around the world. I saw what looked like shopping malls that had been converted into shelters or living quarters. Like after Hurricane Katrina, the people sheltered in football stadiums. The businesses in those shopping malls were all shuttered. Why? No one buying anything. They shuttered them all. They boarded them all up so that they wouldn't get stolen from, broken into. They probably got stolen, broken into anyway. I saw people in cots. Why? Because they left their home. Why? Because their home had no electricity, had no food, and had no water. I saw food outreaches, people misplaced, homeless shelters. But this was not a homeless shelter. This is something like really, really bad had happened, and the people were in shelters. I continued to see shuttered properties, people in homes wearing coats. Cold. Why is it cold? Because there's no electricity. With closed curtains, that has been a consistent vision. People inside their homes looking out at what's going on. When I look at people looking out their curtains, I see more of this dark, gray, snow-like stuff on the road. It's fallout. Fallout from 35 suitcase nukes hitting our nation all, if they can, all the same time, but probably definitely the same day. It wasn't pure white snow like after a fresh snowfall. It's fallout. I'm telling you, it's fallout. I saw headlines saying, nationwide outages plague the Southwest. Nationwide outages of what? That would be electricity. Another headline said, Americans don't know who to blame for the darkness. Some of the darkness stretched into Canada. It stretched north into Canada, but it's not everywhere. I saw America with lights flickering. It was like the whole country outlining the United States of America, including Alaska and Hawaii. Stan, what have you done? All right, since you ask, I'll just show you. That is my current electrical usage. The orange thing going up shows how much has come in from my solar system today. The purple below shows how much it has sent up to the grid. And then the purple that going across there in low areas is how much electricity my home has used. I can go out right now and flip the switch and turn off the grid, and my lights will barely blink. I have, let's see, at the moment, I have, gotta look here. Hang on, I got it. 22 hours and 5 minutes of backup electricity. There it is. You can get one. And, maybe 100, it depends on how much you want. Call my friend Joe, solarsurge.net. Solarsurge.net, N-E-T.net. Say, Stan sent me. What can I do? And he's got a system that'll fit just about anybody's budget. All the way from just one solar panel, all the way up to a nice system. Depends on how much money you got, depends on how big your home is and how much electricity you use. It depends on you, depends on your budget. Solarsurge.net. Look, this is getting serious, brothers and sisters. If I'm right, and I'm not setting a date, if I'm right, this is probably coming November 24. We probably have 12 months before these suitcase nukes hit. Get ready. Look, do you want to be standing in line, begging for food and water? You want to be shivering in your house because the electricity's off? Or do you want all of the neighbors knocking on the front door with pillows and blankets saying, can we come in? And you want to be able to say, yeah, come on in. I got food. I got clean water. And being able to take care of your neighborhood. Personally, I want to be the person helping, not the person begging. Look, I'm trying to say this nice. I'm trying to be nice about it. But I've been trying to be nice about it for 30 years. And apparently a whole bunch of people out there not listening. Matter of fact, we were talking the other day. I lost $50,000 in the DFW area. We were on a major radio station for 1 year. They sent us a notice that they wanted to increase the amount that they were charging us a month, so that sent me looking. So I had them pull a computer report. That's when I discovered, okay, this is how much come in, this is how much went out. We lost $50,000 in a year trying to get this message out to people in the DFW area. Now, that's just one. That was a time we had $600,000 a month that we were spending on radio and TV. Literally. I have lost millions. I don't know how many. It probably scared me. And millions of dollars trying to get Dimitri's message and this other warning out to people that don't want to hear. Their pastors have told them they don't have to worry about this. There's going to be a pre-trib rapture. We're going to get sucked into the air. And that bubble is soon to look at. Suitcase nukes hit. All the pre-tribbers are gone. All the pre-trib prophecy teachers are eating humble pie. And Michael Boldea said if they only get beat up, they got off easy. I think some of them, it might be a whole lot worse. Let's go on. I saw vultures with food hanging out of their mouth. Why? Because after 3 days and the refrigerators went warm, they had to throw all the rotten food out. These vultures were heavy and fat, rotting with food hanging out of their mouths. I saw depression as a creature with a face mask and a smile, but it was choking people, pushing them down to the ground. Here it is. I saw the St. Louis Arch. I saw people standing under it, wearing very expensive business suits and expensive watches. At their feet were large suitcases, briefcases that reminded me of nuclear suitcases. He said that when he didn't even know about suitcase nukes. Suddenly, all of their alarms went off. They grabbed their briefcases, jumped into the black SUVs, drove off in all directions. Why? To go set them off. I've got another one here. I've got another one, and 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 another one. I got lots of them here. 33 different dreams, visions, angel visits, audible voices, telling us suitcase nukes are coming. Probably, at the most, we have 12 months to get ready. But if they're cutting off Berkey water filters, and I guess they have, who says they're not going to be cutting off some of this other stuff? If you got money in the bank, you best be calling cornerstoneassetmetals.com. You better let them know. Better talk to them. If you got a car that has computer chips in it, you best go to EMP Shield and get one of those devices. Use that promo code PROPHECY. Helps your Prophecy Club, but also gets you a $50 discount. Guys, we are running out of preparatory time. 2 Chronicles 20:20. Believe God's prophets, and so shall you prosper.
Today, we live in unsettling times. Have you ever wondered what you're going to do when food is no longer on the shelves? I'm Leslie, owner and founder of Joseph's Kitchen, and I want to show you how to make healthy, homemade, whole wheat bread for only a few $100s a year.
At Joseph's Kitchen, our ingredients have been packaged for immediate use or long-term storage. Go to josephskitchen.com or call the number on your screen to order today. Don't get caught unprepared. Go to josephskitchen.com now.